Hello and good morning. Happy Democracy Day, Nigeria.
That is what it is, isn't it? Welcome. It's a brand new week, a brand new day, a premium breakfast show, all tailored just for you.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's a holiday Monday. And of course, you've chosen us. Thank you very much.
We appreciate the fact that we are helping you wake up on the right side of the bed today. We have quite a great lineup for you, of course. So many great things to talk about. And we have the lovely, the delectable, the studious.
Get to it already.
Yeah, Mary is in the kitchen. How you doing,
She doesn't
Mary?
even know how to pose.
Wow.
How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Mary.
It's so good to be here, really. It's so good to be here. Happy Democracy Day.
Thank you very much. And how
Yeah.
are you going to spend the rest of today, Mary? I'm wondering. What patriotic thing are you going to get up to?
I'm actually quite patriotic. This is an outfit by a Nigerian designer, also
Okay.
Vicky. So yeah, see?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where the patriotism starts.
I like
Yeah.
that.
All right.
It behooves you and I and every single individual out there to make it something different. And of
True.
course, you have to embody it first. That's the way I see it.
I actually agree. We're going to talk a bit more about that later on. But my name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. You have us for the next 1 hour and plenty other minutes. So please do stick around here. We've got so much for you guys.
We're live on GOTV channel 16 and UHF channel 49. You can also stream the show live on tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, we're on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, every single thing. Use that handle.
Yeah.
All right. We also have that app that you guys have been putting off downloading for a minute now. So please already go ahead and download it. iOS or Google Play Store. Everybody's welcome. It's all free just for your convenience. So you can carry us with you any place you go inside Nigeria, Africa, or the world indeed.
And yeah.
Welcome for a Monday edition
Yeah,
here.
thank
Wake Up
you.
Nigeria. I am with the beautiful ladies, delectable lady, you might say. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Mary, for joining us, and also, of course, Titi. Good to have you guys here. Even if it's a holiday, it's a very special one for most Nigerians, all Nigerians actually.
Yeah.
And I was asking you a question from before. How patriotic are you today? You said,
Yeah, I was
hey,
talking
first
about
up-
the fact that I'm wearing House of Vichy. This is a Nigerian
Okay.
designer who made this outfit.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's very comfy. Very, very cool.
What's your concept of democracy and,
Well,
and being
I was actually
patriotic?
going to say yes, I'm wearing a Nigerian designer
Yeah.
too. But I actually think talking about some of the great things that Nigeria possesses is a great way to be patriotic. So we have really amazing weather here. The land is green, so green, such that we don't have issues with, the air getting all clogged up because we have all this vegetation around us. The air cleans itself out. You have to do your research on this to understand. If you're living in a place like New York, it's called a concrete jungle for a reason. They're having the issues with the smoke coming from the forest fires in Canada now, and they've been trying to clean up their air. We don't have those kind of issues. By God's grace, we don't have natural disasters and things like that
Oh,
here.
we do have those, but not to the magnitude of what you can find outside of.
Exactly. You can grow almost anything.
We have a perennial flooding problem, which will soon be a.
Well, the
an-
flooding to an extent could even be managed. In saner climes, it would have been managed.
Yeah.
But the reality is this, regarding patriotism, for me, I would say Nigeria is a country I've always loved, even when I have reasons to not love Nigeria, and that's it. I studied French language, so if I wanted to relocate to Canada, for example, it wouldn't cost me much.
Show off.
It would be, in fact, super easy. But I love
Show
Nigeria
off.
enough to stay. No, not because of that. It's not. See, for me,
Really,
Nigeria
Mazino?
is a country that I believe so much in. It might not make sense to many people, but I just love this country.
Yeah.
If you've been outside the country, you would better appreciate Nigeria. I see a lot of people. I know about 2-3 people who relocated last year who are back home.
Yeah.
There's the problem
met a
of,
few
yeah, quite a few. There's the problem, especially parents. It's not even about the skills alone, but what their children are being exposed to.
Oh, yeah, that's
Here
a
we think
big,
they are being
major
exposed
concern.
to certain things, but if you cut off their internet hours, you can still curb some things. But there, they face it at school, so many reasons.
My concept of being patriotic, especially in a day like today, has to do with this. Even the president spoke about it inside of his speech when he talked about the fact that we can't let our history go to waste.
Yeah.
People who have sacrificed
Yeah.
for us,
Yes.
where we are today, we have to remember them. And I guess that's what today is all about.
Yeah. We should have conversations.
We do need to have these conversations and also see where they started, where we can take it up from, and where we can take it to.
Yeah, true.
Is how I construct my concept for.
Right
for this
now,
season.
being constructive and innovative in how we move the country forward. And I say we
Absolutely.
because I don't think it's just the government that needs to move the country
Each and
forward.
everyone.
Each and everyone has a part to play in this, especially the way we talk about our country, the way we behave to each other.
Yeah.
Do we treat each other well? Do we treat each other fairly? Especially even in our small units at home, how do we treat each other at home? I think it starts from there, but
It's a
hopefully-
personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Look at what transporters do, for example. Inflate prices at will. Do you understand? There's so many people need to start treating Nigeria better from their own space because it's like a boomerang. It will just keep going around. And then like a circle, everybody gives the same treatment and Nigeria becomes a better country. It's personal responsibility. We need to take it.
Boomerang might sound so aggressive. So
What it,
domino,
wow.
domino, perhaps, you were
Domino,
trying to
maybe.
say?
Yeah.
So it can come back to me. That's why I said boomerang. I want it to come back to
You are correct.
think,
Don't
what-
mind me. You are correct.
You're just a
Dominoes,
I don't
boomerangs,
want to go to jail.
whatever it is. We are going to be taking a quick look at what the weather says today. Stay with us.
Wake up, Nigeria. Today, it's a merry affair in the kitchen. You know why? Because we've got Chef Mary right here with us. How you doing today?
I'm fine. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning indeed. It's Mary making breakfast. Oh, I like that. I rhyme sometimes. So. Okay, let's talk about the ingredients. But before the ingredients, what are we making for breakfast?
Fried rice.
Fried rice. Okay,
Yes.
so what are we making use of? Starting with the rice.
Yes.
Okay, so talk about the spices. What spices are there? What is this?
That's in ginger and garlic.
Ginger and garlic,
That's thyme, dry thyme,
dry
salt,
thyme, salt,
curry,
curry, onions.
onions. Yes.
Okay, so we have peppers.
Yes, green pepper, red pepper, spring onions, carrot and cabbage.
Okay.
That's butter.
Okay.
And the black
Butter,
pepper.
not margarine, right?
Yes,
That's what you're
margarine,
making.
yes.
Margarine.
Yes.
Okay. So
Black pepper and seasoning cube. Yes.
So oil.
That's oil.
Is this all the oil you will need? Wow. Okay. I'd like to see how you pull that off. And then
Okay, that's my chicken and the stock.
chicken and the stock.
A
And then
protein.
of course we've got ground turmeric and fried rice spice,
Yes.
oyster sauce,
Oyster sauce.
soy sauce, and sesame oil.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the ingredients for making our fried rice this morning. Now, you know how every chef has their way of making different dishes, right? And then you also have chefs making the same dish in different ways. We're going to see Chef Mary's style today. So here's what you're going to do for me right now. Run us through the process. How are you going to prepare this? So we're going to wash the rice.
Yes.
Okay, then what happens?
And I'll put water on the fire and I will parboil it.
Okay.
And wash
parboil
it out, yes, before start making.
The fried
Rice,
rice.
yes.
Okay, so what about the fried rice processing? You're going to stir fry that?
Yes, I will stir fry it.
Okay.
And put it inside the rice.
You pour it in the rice?
Yes.
Okay, the rice will have to cook, of course.
yes.
And then you now stir fry the vegetables, pour it in the rice?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the stir fry process? Oil,
Yes.
onions,
Sesame oil. No, I will not put onions. I will
Okay.
only go with the veg.
only the vegetables?
Yes.
So all the vegetables are going to be stir fried?
Yes.
Okay, so are you going to season them?
Yeah. Yes, I will use them just 1 cube and season it.
Just
With
one,
the
okay, with the
sesame oil.
sesame oil.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, at what point does the margarine come in? When the rice is almost ready?
No. When I put this, everything I add, it's going with the oil.
Okay, okay. You know what? I like the fact that the chicken is already pre-cooked, okay? So the stock is with it. It looks amazing. So I'm sure by the time we put all of this together, you'd be smacking your lips. Oh my God, I wish you could join us in the kitchen right now. But hey, let's head over to the couch where Titi is on standby with Mazino for the newspaper headlines.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. And yay, it's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. We're going to start with the Daily Trust. Mazino, of course, is right here. And we're going to see what we can do to, you know, give a little more insight on what the headlines are. It says here, Democracy Day, bear with me on subsidy removal. Tinubu tells Nigerians, promises investments in power, transportation, healthcare, others, pays tribute to Abiola Yaradua, others, and use gains to deepen Nigeria's democracy, says IBB here. Atiku and Obi react. All that's on the cover. It also says here, on subsidy removal, road transportation costs compete with airfares. Now, we already started talking a bit
we were
about
talking
that.
about that from earlier when this weekend people were pleased to actually find out that there has been a fraction removed from how much you might be paying if you're going to be using air transportation, and that is actually quite worrying because at this point maybe it's even best to just pay for a flight instead of going by road with all the associated risks that you might face when it comes to the roads these days. If I'm paying the same thing, maybe I might as well just. I still don't understand exactly how the removal of subsidy has affected the aviation industry, the price of aviation fuel. Not just that, there's cooking gas. We still can't explain that. And I must say that we've got better power right now, and people are using less and less fuel for their generators or homes. Instead, maybe you might be spending much if you are driving from place to place. But at least these things, you can see that some ripple effect is affecting these other matters and helping alleviate some of the suffering or pains that we might have been experiencing since the removal.
There is, quite a debate on whether, road transportation versus air transportation. It's always been a debate, especially here. But in terms of speed, obviously, flights are definitely faster. But then there was a time that the cost of jet fuel went up quite a bit. I'm not sure whether that has leveled out or it's just found a balance somewhere. We should really look out for that story and watch out for developments there. But there is also the Nation newspaper here. You did say you wanted to mention...
Yeah, so Nation newspaper has quite similar headlines as its big story for this morning here on Monday, June 12th. Why we must defend our democracy by Tinubu. If you listen to the speech, he said plenty about that. He says, expect better deal from me. Judicial reform has started. Abiola's sacrifice should not be in vain. That in particular was what I found very interesting in his speech from this morning. And at the top of the Nation newspaper first page, My Nigeria Air Story by ex-minister Shirika. Very interesting. And I think that everybody who's very interested in the aviation system should actually read this one. Minister gets only 3 billion naira. Lawmaker says 5% equity claim is a big lie. Well, the other big story from the Nation this morning, Titi, is Emefiele's exit and the fireworks before suspension. Friday evening, everybody left work, and then finally we got the information about his suspension and then eventually his arrest. And there's plenty expectations regarding how that's going to affect the market, even the dollar, even the aviation system, and all of that. However, regarding the exact reason, there's investigation still going on regarding his efforts as the CBN governor and all of that. And plenty of other auxiliary or ancillary topics have been coming up. His attempts to want to still be CBN governor and be presidential run for presidency, aspirant and all of that. So there's plenty to actually unpack from this story, but especially the fact that maybe by tomorrow we'll begin to see the effect of this suspension perhaps and his substitution. Maybe it's all part of the reform that the president spoke about from much earlier. So we wait to see where the investigation will go and where the effect of this suspension will take us.
I was actually going to, say that, of course, whenever headlines like this come out on social media, there's often an uproar, and there's been a little back and forth, like a for and against kind of situation, trying to understand the main motive behind the suspension, because...
You see, the funny thing about it, the Emefiele issue is that every single person is interested. This is not one of those instances where somebody in higher office gets suspended and everybody's like, and they won't let it. Every single person is related to this because it affected everybody, especially with the Naira reform policy, which seems to be like comatose at this point. When was the last time you saw a brand new, not even just a brand new, when was the last time you saw a new Naira note, a new...
the new design.
New design. Think about it. So much being talked about the fact that there was only 1/7 of the amount that we needed that was printed, as against everything that was recouped from the system, where it went, how much people suffered, people died during the time, how it affected every single citizen, and the people who were actually supposed to call the then central bank governor to order sat down and did nothing.
And didn't,
Plenty of fingers being pointed at the National Assembly. Where are you representing Nigeria from? How are you representing Nigeria? What did you do in this instance when you saw the citizenry suffering? There's so much to unpack.
There is
I'm really affected, so I'm very passionate about it.
But there are still some areas where people are asking how lawful the suspension actually is. We are definitely going to be watching
end of that investigation.
Exactly.
We should just be patient and see where that takes us.
We still have another paper with us here. It's the Daily Times we have. It says here on the NAS inauguration tomorrow, ethno-religious issues top the Senate presidency tussle. There'll be a religious crisis if Akpabio loses, warns VP Shetima. It also says at the top here, orderly room trial, summary dismissal await 12 customs officers allegedly involved in cross-border petrol smuggling. Now, that has been a conversation that quite a few have been talking about. Let's see, on Nigeria Air, Reps Aviation Committee Chair asked me for 5%, says Sirika. Naira wobbles, stock market down amid Emefiele's suspension or detention, according to World Bank. And right at the bottom, it says here, Obasanjo backs quest to support 25,000 Nigerians in business annually. I wanted to sort of jump on this issue of cross-border petrol smuggling. You know, there were so many instances where we saw videos. We're not sure how accurate those videos were, what time they were actually representing, but videos of some tankers trying to cross the border that had been stopped by customs officials with the mindset that they were going to be sold across the border for exorbitant prices based on the former fuel price that we had here in Nigeria. Now, the fact that 12 customs officers, just 12, customs officers
that we know
of allegedly involved have actually been
who else would be involved in such an issue except people who are in certain positions?
Exactly.
There's an ecosystem at the border where people know what they're supposed to do illegally, and it's gone on for many years.
I know you've crossed the border quite a few times.
So I've seen these things happen. I've seen people, you know, I've seen the shenanigans that happen with especially people in uniform over the borders and all. But then it doesn't start there. It starts from higher up.
Sure.
There's an entire system that is, how do you put it? It's an engine, let me put it so. There's also effect outside of Nigeria regarding the fuel subsidy removal here in Nigeria. That means from before, I mean, I was in Cotonou last month, and I remember buying fuel at 500, converted 500 naira per liter. Now, I bet you it must be more than that. So imagine the effect on them and how that is going to affect their economy as well. Borders are open
some bloggers on social media have mentioned that prices of petrol in places like Cotonou hit up to about 700 at a point.
It could be
and
more.
there were certain protests, whether online or actual physical, I'm not sure, but they were protesting. And it just made everybody raise their eyebrows as to how, you know, how important the economy of Nigeria is to the surrounding countries. Now, we will be following this particular story as well, especially when it comes to the cross-border petrol issues. But we have to take a quick break now at this point. Thank you so much for joining us. Give us your comments and contributions. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC and let us know what you think about today's headlines.
You're welcome again to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria, and we're still making breakfast. Breakfast, of course, is by Chef Mary, like Mary Square. You get it?
Mazino.
Oh,
like
yeah.
MMM.
And Mazino.
The last MMM I remember, though. Don't remember MMM?
Don't even think about it.
That was how many years ago, though?
Dude, how much did you need?
I did not.
We'll talk about it
I
later.
did not.
Okay, so,
I want to pack my chicken.
okay, yes. So Chef Mary has the chicken ready. All fried up, literally.
Wow, I
Yeah.
have a question, Chef
What's
Mary.
that?
What is this?
That's the chicken stock.
Oh, the stock. Are you going to use it for the...
Yes, I will use it.
It's going to go in the rice, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I especially love chicken stock, and I used to use... I cook, it's not like I don't cook, and this weekend I actually rediscovered my cooking abilities and how it calms me
Mazino,
down.
we know you're a fantastic chef. Well done.
Say it louder, please.
Oh, please. You know, I try not to compliment you too much. It gets into your head.
Okay, so
Okay.
there's rice, there's chicken.
Yes, we put the rice. We actually just started boiling it.
There is some fire.
So now we're going to stir fry. So you can start the stir fry process. I know you have to put this in. There you go. If you need my help with anything, just ask me to pass it. And your wish will be my command.
I asked first, but it's okay.
You can go and help. I'm not stopping you now, am I? Oh my goodness, the chicken looks so good. Okay, I'm supposed to focus on that. The carrot goes in first.
Yes.
Okay. So that's to soften it up. Because carrots are usually harder.
I would have put that in last personally.
The carrots.
Yeah, I like them crunchier. I like to feel that I have carrots.
So I usually stir fry everything together actually. I don't usually do that process. But I've had chefs here tell me that they like it softer because not everybody really likes the crunchiness.
Okay.
So I have a thing for whenever I'm putting vegetables, even onions as well, I want to taste it.
Exactly, you want to taste it.
Yeah, by tasting, I'm not talking about tasting that it's there, but tasting it like with the juices coming out of it. So
Bit
you
of
know
the
you're
crunch.
eating carrots, yes, you're eating peppers and all. So yes, that's actually a major for me. Yeah, so the peppers have joined as well.
Yes.
So is it-
The cabbage and the spring onion will come last.
Okay.
When the rest is almost ready.
Oh.
So I'm not going to stir fry it.
Okay, so you're not stir frying them yet?
Yes.
Okay. So are you going to still stir fry them, but when the rice is almost ready?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll have those ready. For how long are we going to cook that for?
It's ready.
It's ready?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so let me
ready.
turn off the heat.
Yes.
That's quite
That's
good, I
quick.
know, right? Really quick.
How long will this entire thing take me to, if I'm going to make it for breakfast, how long? Like what, 20 minutes, 45?
Maybe an hour.
Yeah, 45.
45 minutes,
Yes,
like in-
45
Including the
minutes.
prep?
Yeah, after preparing everything.
45 minutes.
minutes,
Okay.
yes.
Because that's why I said
And if
maybe
your
an
burner
hour.
is fast,
Okay.
you have a fast burner.
It should take you just about that time.
Yes.
Okay. So the rice, when it's ready, we'll put in the cabbage, right?
Yes.
And the spring onions.
Yeah.
We'll put them in there
You
to
put
stir
in
fry
there,
as
yeah,
well.
Stir fry it and
Okay.
turn it inside the rice.
So what are we doing with the onions then?
I will use it for the rice,
Are we putting it in the stir fry or are we putting it directly in the rice?
not in the rice.
It's going to cook in the rice. I'm going to like this because I like my onions still fresh. But you realize that not many people like their onions fresh like that. How do you handle such, especially when you have another?
I will stir fry my onions.
You stir fry it, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I will fry it with the oil before put the rice.
Putting it in so it's
Yes.
more or less merges with the rice. Because I know you have certain preferences. Last week, the chef who actually turned baker as well, who came to make us cookies and
Yeah.
cake last week. She actually said somebody ordered cake that had fish in it. I'd never heard of that. It's like cake that had fish in it.
Didn't somebody try to design ice cream?
And it's a guy.
Fish flavored ice cream. Why do we have butter though? I didn't see butter anywhere. Is that what we stir fried with?
No, the sesame oil, I believe.
Yes.
Sesame
Yeah.
oil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or could I use butter? Because I don't use oil for cooking. I don't like to use oil.
Yes, you can use butter.
I prefer butter, so
yes.
it's okay if I use butter instead.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
So this is actually margarine. I mentioned that earlier because
Margarine,
I know
yes.
people tend to just call them.
What's the difference?
So
Oh, yeah. Vegetable fat and I can't remember. You tell me.
margarine?
Margarine is
Yes.
different from butter.
Margarine.
Okay.
That's all I know. We're having margarine this morning, and that is that. So I prefer butter on my bread as
Okay.
a spread. But there are people who use margarine on their bread. So I think it has to do more with personal preference.
Okay.
But if you're trying to get more fat in your food, like more oil, people usually use margarine, especially for
Okay.
cooking. Because if you are going to use butter for this, you need more butter than this.
Oh.
So again, if you're looking at the economical side, you want to consider using that.
Yeah.
So Chef Mary, we'll try to finish this process and have the food ready in time to serve our guests at the end of the show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so while we get on with that, the show, of course, has to go on. You've been watching Wake Up Nigeria, and we're still here. We're going to be here on the other side of the hour. Top of the hour now, though.
It's a great day to be alive, and we're excited to be right here with you right now. We're bringing you all the best content we can muster to kick your day off the right way.
Not just your day, but the entire week. This is the place you come to when you need that fix to get you started. The starter park for every single week here, Wake Up Nigeria. We've got less than 45 minutes to go, so we'll make it a bummer.
We are doing what we can to boost our energy levels this
Woohoo!
morning.
I'm already
Yeah.
naturally boosted. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I actually think we need a bucket of ice for Mazino today.
like
For some reason, there's just something going on.
Energy.
We'll find out later. But hey, in the first half, the studio just waved full of this amazing aroma. Woo! Now, our chef is putting on an amazing show in the kitchen with Mary.
Just imagine how I feel right now. Like, I cannot wait for this dish to be ready, I tell you. The rice has already parboiled, and we're about to start the stir fry. It's so exciting, I tell you. So exciting.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing up for Mary.
You are?
Yeah, just so
Really?
excited.
Okay, we have quite a bit to go, but my name is Titilayo Oniso.
My name is Mazino Appeal. You can see the show live. In fact, you might be doing that right now on GOTV channel 16, or you could try channel 49 in UHF. It's that easy to find us anytime, any day.
Stream the show live on tvcentertainment.tv, that's our website, or on facebook.com/TVC Connect. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all those social media something. We are there. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, we also have that app, you guys, so please download it and make sure that you're using it any place you go. iOS or Android, it's available for you guys.
So what's left on the show? On a Monday, motivation. We're going to be discussing multi-skilling as a coping mechanism. Yeah, we're going to be adjusting to this ever-changing economy. The amazing Fola Daniels Adelesi is going to be right here with us on the couch. International keynote speaker, training facilitator, and communications professional extraordinaire. He jackpot, but he came back. We are going to be having a conversation with him soon.
And finally, on SME today, we will be having a Bayomiyaki Aina, Caleb, a photographer and also cinematographer. Is highly skilled with a passion for capturing life's most precious moments. Utilizes a combination of his technical expertise and also creative vision. Can't wait to have that conversation with our guest.
The detail in those photos, very detailed, lovely.
We're talking about patriotism from earlier, yeah?
Yeah,
I wanted to ask where our patriotism, where to practically start this level of patriotism we're talking about. That video you talked about this morning, want to tell us about it?
Yes,
That's
so there was
sample.
a video, it was an amateur video on social media that was going around of a woman upending a drum
Deliberately.
of refuse. Now, it wasn't a small bag or a sack. It was a whole drum of refuse being poured into a drainage. And it felt like someone deliberately took that video of this woman. And we heard from, we heard a report that she's been charged.
Yeah.
And, of course, sentenced. She actually has 144 days of community service now, cleaning the environment to serve now. So this is something that I don't think a lot of people realize, that you could be charged for such an offense.
I wanted to congratulate the efforts of Loma, because they actually, just from that video that was made, they found this woman out from wherever it was that she was, and then they actually visited, investigated before she was charged. And that's something that I think is the first time I've seen that happen. I didn't know that they could do that. It's within their, it's their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that that was captured, and it will serve as deterrent for anybody else who perhaps is in the habit of doing that kind of a thing.
So I've always thought to myself that Nigerian agencies can do a lot more. It's probably lack of motivation. So I'm actually very pleased that action was taken on this. Yeah. And at this point, I must mention, this is for the benefit of some folks I know living in this area. There's been electricity problem, transformer blew, as in Gowon Estate, 52 Road. And since last Tuesday, nothing has been done about it. So calling on relevant authorities to please act on it.
All right, nice one. Okay, now that that PSA is done, let's do the weather.
Yeah.
You want to hit me? Welcome back, and are you ready for some motivation for a Monday? I bet you are. Because today we're discussing something very interesting. We're discussing multi-skilling as a coping mechanism to adjust in an ever-changing economy with Mr. Fola Daniel Adelesi, who is in the studio with me right now. Welcome back again.
Thank you. Good morning.
Nice clean shave. That was from yesterday, wasn't it? Good to have you here.
Thank you.
How can multi-skilling be a coping mechanism?
Okay, so you know that we're in a constantly changing environment, and recently we talked about those who are trying to relocate. So whether you're remaining in this environment with a challenging economy, or to the better economy, supposedly better economy, what you need to do is to consistently multi-skill. For example, if you're in the corporate world here, as we know, when people relocate abroad, they would always have to get into a different environment. Have you asked yourself, is your skill relevant in the new community, or will you be able to fit in immediately? That's usually one of the biggest challenges of people going to another country. So you don't just go to another place and not find out what skill is relevant. If you find out what skill set is relevant and you prepare for it, it makes it easier for you. But back home in Nigeria, you know, one of the things we do, our economy is the kind of economy that says, okay, just get to school, get a good grade, and get a job. But we're going beyond that time where just one job is enough. I'll take myself as an example. Beyond what I do in the corporate world and consulting and stuff like that, if you give me a DSLR camera, I can operate it efficiently.
Oh, nice.
I can go into an event, take pictures, professional pictures,
Nice.
and not take it in an automatic mode. Now, if you want to stream an event, I can handle all the gadgets for live streaming.
Nice.
And then come to corporate communications, I'll do corporate communications again. So you realize that if there are challenging times and opportunities present themselves in other spaces, you can get in there easily, do something, and make money. So multi-skilling will make it easier for you. Multi-skilling makes you more relevant. That's why it's very important, whether you're traveling or you're not traveling, you're in Nigeria or wherever it is, right now, multi-skilling is the new oil. You can't afford to stay with just one skill set because things are constantly changing. We're also in the digital era.
Exactly.
Where AI is taking a lot of jobs away from people.
Yeah.
So what it is that AI cannot do for people right now, that you can still do, because whatever AI can do, it means that people will not want to pay for it anymore. So what other skill sets do you have, or have you developed, or will you develop to stay relevant?
But as a person and as people who perhaps maybe have spent so long inside of a corporate environment or systems where it is very structured, perhaps maybe go to work with a shirt and a tie, multi-skilling would often mean that they have to learn something new, something that is often maybe almost manual. And that's the problem when it comes to that sense of pride with most people. So how can they adjust that?
So for those in the corporate world, sometimes it doesn't mean that they have to learn something entirely new. But the challenge really is, as you go up the ladder, you have more people reporting to you, and you ask them to do things without watching what they are doing.
Yeah, so
But
you're eroding your own skill while they're
Exactly.
getting
It's
better.
a disservice to yourself
Yeah.
because you just use your authority to skill them up. But it's a disservice to you. So even as you ask other people to do something,
Be
ask-
involved.
Be involved. Be humble. Ask them to teach you. Because over time, something may even happen. For whatever reason, they are not available, and you can sort it yourself.
Yeah.
But then when you get outside that organization, that skill that you have learned from somebody who looks like a subordinate becomes useful to you. I remember during the lockdown, somebody confessed that she started struggling with her computer system because she now has to work from home. But when she was in the office, she was the boss.
Tunde, come on, fix
She
my
would just
computer.
call anybody, come and in a few seconds, they are there, they'll fix it.
Yeah.
She will shout at them for not being able to fix it or for not doing it right. But when she got home, she understood the value of those people. But if you had skilled up, watch out for what they were doing, how they were fixing it. When you're on your own, it makes it easier. So we should not take for granted what subordinates or the technicians are doing. Technician may be there for you in the office, but at home, would they be there for you? Even if you can afford it, something may happen at a time when nobody is available. So it's important that we begin to look into other skills. We're going in such a direction where you just must be able to do something. For example, now, our smartphones are becoming a lot more smarter. On your phone now, you can take powerful pictures. On your phones, you can edit videos, you can record powerful videos, almost the same resolution that DSLR cameras or professional cameras can record. You can record the same quality on your phone.
Yeah.
So have you learned how to edit videos? So there's so much content out there today from smartphones. What can you do with those smartphones? And the beautiful part about it is that you don't even have to spend a lot of money learning a new skill.
You can always
Just spend some time on YouTube and you'll find out how to do so. Take, for example, if I need to cut videos, when I record videos, I cut them by myself. I do very limited editing, but I don't need somebody else to reduce the size, increase the size, extract my audio.
You can do all of that.
I can do all of that
Practice.
because there are mobile apps that are available for free.
Yeah.
So it's just so important that you're multi-skilled and you can get paid for the new skills that you're learning.
Do you often, well, you consult for businesses, do you have this as part of your curriculum, telling them what they need to do for employees? Because employees would often be so, overrun with the daily activities of a workplace that they might not have the time to actually upgrade their own skills.
There are two challenges,
how can
really.
employers help employees remain relevant in such a system?
There are two challenges with employers, really, and I've said it a number of times at different fora. The first thing is that employers don't often do an assessment of what their needs are before they employ people. They just think that we need this person on the top of their head, and then they say HR or they outsource, employ this person. Then they employ that person who has the skill set for what they said they needed. The person comes in and they realize that that's not what they need. Then they begin the process of trying to convert that person to do some other things in the organization. But the person came in with a different skill set. Unfortunately, there are some people who are not so flexible to learn the new skill set that they need. And there are some other people who are flexible and they will adapt. So the first thing they need to do is be sure of what you really need. Ensure that the skill set you need is what you're asking somebody to employ for. Then the other thing, I've also noticed that somebody will just say, oh, we need this training. Can you come and train our people and stuff like that? And I realized that they've not done what they call a training needs analysis. So they just said, oh, everybody is doing AI training. Let's do AI training. Everybody is doing emotional intelligence. Let's do emotional intelligence. But what does your own organization need? So when you do a training needs analysis, you then realize, okay, it looks like this is where we have issues. And that's what you should be training for. But they are training for something that they don't need. There are people who acquire the skills and they cannot deploy the skills in their organization. So the two things that I've just said that they should do, number one, look for the real skill sets that you need. Then number two, if you're going to train your employees, ask yourself, where do we have gaps? And train in line with your gaps. So multi-skilling them becomes effective in that instance.
So those are samples for people who are in systems or corporate systems. What about people, and today it is the norm to actually leave one place, immigrate. For people who are immigrating outside of a country, how can this be of help to them?
The first and the most important thing is go check the country you're going to, check the list of skills in demand.
In demand.
If you don't check the list of skills in demand, you're working against yourself. For example, if you're going to maybe the US or the UK, data analytics is something that you need to, if you like figures or you're not scared of figures, look into data analytics, look into email marketing, look into search engine optimization, look into social media marketing. Because those are things that people are using on a daily basis. Then ask yourself, what else can you do? Healthcare is big in the UK. Healthcare is big in Canada, in the US. So what can you do that is related? It could be technology in healthcare. It could be healthcare in the military. It could be any of the fields. Just make sure you check out the list of on-demand skills, depending on what country. Do you know that in Canada, for example, if you're a truck driver, your skill is in demand?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Being a plumber, your skill is in demand. Being an electrician, being an automobile engineer, your skill. So look out for what is in demand and skill up in that regard.
Well, being a plumber will always be in demand, that's for sure. But thank you very much, Mr. Adelisi, for coming once again. Fantastic. Now we know something about you we didn't know. This guy can operate a camera anytime. So in case you're looking for somebody to take care of your wedding memories and all, he has just advertised for you people. He's straight and fresh out of the University of YouTube, by the way. But don't let that bother you. He's good at what he does. Is that enough?
Yes, sure.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Do stay tuned. We've got just a little bit more here on the show before it's time up. But you're going to love what we have for you. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Hello and welcome back to Wake Up Nigeria. Now we have our final guest for this morning. Abayomi Akiaino Caleb is a photographer. He's also a cinematographer. He's highly skilled and has a passion for capturing life's most precious moments. Now, utilizing a combination of his technical expertise and his creative vision, we have him here as our SME guest so we can pick his brain. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Guy, you did not dress like a photographer today. Was this deliberate? Was this intentional?
No, actually, it's intentional.
Intentional?
So, yeah, sometimes this is how I dress to events and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so you need to help me wrap my head around it. With all the cameras, straps, and everything, how does a suit work?
Yeah, so basically, I work with couple of assistants. So
Okay.
if I need to do anything, they just pass it over to me. Then I just
All
do
right.
it. So-
He's a big boy, you know? But it's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank
you
you
need to let us in on your journey and how it all began.
Yeah, so apparently I started photography way back when I was in uni. That was Lagos State University last year. I studied computer science.
Okay.
So apparently I was one of the tall guys in my set then. So there's this, I think we're set of like 40 to 45 in the class. So most times when they want to take pictures,
Yeah.
some of my colleagues were like, oh, who can take these pictures? Then when I end up like not taking the proper pictures, then I'm like, can you do this? I was like, okay, let me go. So when I use my hand, so they were like, I'll capture every single person. They were like, wow, this is amazing.
So selfie hand, essentially.
Yeah, so they call me selfie-handed in school. And a couple of my friends were like, guy, you're really taking this, you're doing this thing very well. Even with just a phone, you're doing very well. And like I remember way back then, people were already eyeing me for like wedding. I think that was about 3 to 4 years ago. People were paying me for about 150 to cover weddings. I'm like, wow. Then some of my guys were like, guy, why didn't you just venture into this professionally? I'm like, oh, wow, let me give it a try. And thank God it's actually worth it.
It must have been a heavy investment because cameras, especially back in the day, they've always been expensive.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So apparently, basically, yeah. So it's actually a bit of hectic, and it's more of like a growing journey for me actually, because I remember my first camera was not bought by myself.
Yeah.
So I won a scholarship then in school as total, yes.
Nice.
So I think over time I've already received like the first payment, second payment. They were supposed to pay me for like 3 years apparently. So
Wow.
the last payment, I actually picked up the money. Then I bought my first camera. Then I think that was D33-200. That was 150,000 then.
What year was this?
I think that was 2016 or thereabouts. Yes, if I'm not so
Interesting,
sure. Yes.
interesting.
So that was
All
my
right.
first professional camera I bought myself then.
So from then, hop, skip, and jump till now, you've created a niche for yourself. I believe it's wedding photography, am I
Yeah,
right?
so apparently I grew into wedding photography because to me, photography was more of like a calling basically because I actually don't want to do photography professionally. Most times I remember then going to events, I'm always very shy to see my classmates, see me as a photographer because I believe to me it's a dirty job actually, to be very
Wow.
honest. I believe they're like the regular kind of people. So I actually want to be like a pilot, an engineer.
Wow.
So actually I met a friend of mine, Walt, then. It was like, wow, guy, you can actually do this and buy cars. I know photographers that have fine houses, beautiful things and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm going to give it a try. So to me, actually,
These are some very beautiful photos. These are amazing. Wow. The lighting is epic. I'm loving your colors and the effects you use. But this must have been a journey for you to start from, just using a cell phone to now getting this professional.
Yeah.
Any training behind that?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Most times, I wasn't trained by a particular person actually, but I'm someone that I can actually go online, check stuff and learn. Actually, so most times too, I pay for workshops online. Whenever I see workshops,
Okay.
I've attended a couple of workshops, and also I've been opportune to work with like the likes of T.Y. Bello as well.
Nice.
Yeah, alongside, they've been able to impart, tell me stuff like, oh, this is how you put things down, and
Yep.
big.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm honestly extremely, intrigued and interested in your work. But I've worked with a lot of photographers before, and it does feel like the industry is on the side of saturated right now. That's not a play on words, by the way.
Yeah.
Saturation in this particular industry means that there are a lot of people doing exactly this.
The same.
How do you stand out?
I think one of my biggest fear in the creative industry is being like everybody. That's my biggest fear.
Okay.
I want to be different. In as much as I want to be a photographer, I want to be a cinematographer, I want to be a filmmaker. My biggest fear is to being like everyone. I believe like if you can create a niche, if you can stand out in every industry, you definitely don't have to be scared of the saturated market. And like people used to say, the bed is big enough for the sky is big enough for every bird to fly. So
All right.
definitely it works.
So now let's talk money. Let's talk business. As a business, how lucrative has this been? How have you been able to structure it such that you don't need to delve into any other areas?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. So it's just, I believe it's more of like discipline actually, because photography is something that whenever you're actually doing, you need to be very disciplined because sometimes there's a lot of distraction, there's a lot of side attraction and all that. But once you can place discipline as a priority, definitely it's actually called a what. And also I have a couple of staff that are actually very understanding. And one thing again I do also as well is for people say for business to work, you need to put on the serious hands as well. And also you don't want to keep on holding people's salaries down. So in as much as you're not doing that actually, they want to put in their best and they actually trust whoever is actually leading the loads and all of that.
I like the fact that you delved into staff. What's your staff strength right now?
Yeah, my staff strengths are like basically, let me say 3 to 4, 5.
Okay, so are these full-time or part-time?
Yeah, so basically I have like 2 full-time staff. One of them is also here with me, but it's behind the scenes and all of
Okay,
that. So
okay.
I have part-time staff too as well, and I have also people that work for me from other countries too as well, like I send works and all of that.
A studio?
They're not studio per se, but like post-production actually, because that's more of like the demanding part of our work and all of that.
All right, so now on an average, when we sort of try to compare businesses like yours, we sort of try and compare with the corporate world. If, for instance, someone came to offer you a job in the corporate world tomorrow, is this something you would consider?
Actually, it depends, because I can remember way back, about 2 or 3 years ago, Studio 24 offered me, or maybe a couple of, or even I think in my NYC, maybe I finished my NYC, they offered me to actually work back, but I told them no. So for me, actually, I feel like there's no corporate work I actually want to do. But some also, it depends, actually. So in the corporate...
So being on your own is working for you?
Definitely, it's worth it. I will not say 100%, but let me say 95 to 90.
So let's talk clientele now, because everybody loves a beautiful picture of themselves, no matter what social class we're talking about. Do you have a particular target?
Yes, definitely, I have a particular target, because over now, before now, I actually don't really mind the targets, but now I feel like more is more demanding for me, actually, because the fact that I actually need to pay more tax, I need to pay, also I forgot to mention, so my studio is in Lekki, so you know what that means, it's a whole lot of money to actually maintain the place. So I have a target that actually, that's one of the reasons why I actually consider wedding photography too as well, as part of my niche. So I have a lot of target that actually needs like the high-end clients to be able to actually use, because we need to give it a balance, not thinking about money, then at the end of everything, and the balance, the business is actually fluctuating. There's no money to fund the business, and there's actually no moving forward. So actually, clientele has to be like the high-end, people who can pay well. So those are my.
So when you say high-end, for some, high-end might be a little low-end. Let's talk your basic rate card now. A couple getting married this weekend, they want to do the basic, nothing too crazy, basic photography package. How much?
Yeah, I think my list package for now, actually, I want non-appearance, actually, 750,000.
Non-appearance?
Non-appearance.
You're not showing up?
I'm not showing up.
750K?
Yes.
And you will not be there?
I won't be there.
It's your people there. When you show up, how much?
I think that should be about 950 to a million plus, actually.
Interesting. All right. No wonder.
I'm actually thinking of pushing it forward.
I'm with you on that. Nigeria has been good to you, because the wedding industry in Nigeria is second to none. There's a wedding every single weekend. It feels like a market that is unending, never-ending source of clients for you. We appreciate you for coming to talk to us this morning. And good luck with everything you do.
Thank you.
I get free photos.
No problem.
They come.
No problem.
I don't have to be getting married before you take pictures.
No problem.
All right, no wahala. But at this point, we're going to be taking you to the kitchen. We have a meal that's been put together by our chef, Mary Mazzino, and Mary have been in the kitchen. The MMMs have taken over.
Thank you.
Let's go. Woohoo!
Lovely pictures. Lovely
very,
pictures.
very beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
It's so exquisite. And the one with the guy in the agbada and the lady, I need that picture because I want to make the same thing for my wife and I.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm inspired by that.
Okay, so welcome to the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. It's time for breakfast, and we are having fried rice. Courtesy Chef Mary.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's have you dig in. We know as soon as you sat down,
You wanted to taste it.
We have to be like, no, just wait, just wait. Okay, so please dig in. Give us your feedback. What do you make of the breakfast?
Stir Fry by Mary and Mazzino.
So good.
As soon as the flavors just hit his tongue, he
I
said,
think I'm going to invite you over to come and make some couple of dishes for me.
See, he charges 950 to 1 million for appearance. So you know what to charge. Don't forget it. They thought we did not hear because
Shortchange yourself.
don't shortchange it. You charge him 1 million to what? 2 million per dish.
Okay.
You're on your own, no?
It's been an amazing Monday and it's the start of a great week. All right, guys. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
Yes, bright and early. Be sure to join us. Happy holiday. Happy Democracy Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.